Welcome to the future. The 2022 Ford F-150 Lightning. An all-electric pickup truck with all the technology of an F-150, plus an electrified driving experience and tech only available on an all-electric truck. Backed by trusted built Ford tough capability. In fact, the F-150 Lightning is the smartest, most connected F-150 Ford has ever built. For 44 straight years, more Americans have put their hard-earned money on a Ford F-Series pickup than on any other truck. And now, it's charging into the future. The Ford F-150 Lightning. All electric, all F-150.
Hello everyone and welcome. We're back here once again, and that's right, I am here with the all-new, all-electric, all-F-Series, the F-150 Lightning. We're excited to have you. This is Discover Your Ford. This is our live stream. I'm Errol, and today we are going to have some fun. So I want to encourage you guys. As you know, this is our live stream format, which basically means that with us being live, we encourage you to ask questions. Now we're going to be talking about one thing, and I'm going to tell you guys what that is in just a moment, but any questions regarding or surrounding that are going to get priority. Now, keeping in mind that we are live, I'm not going to be able to demonstrate every function, feature, or everything here in the studio, so to help me with that, I'm going to depend upon some technology. I have some videos and B-roll that I'll be able to show you guys, and I also have some new technology here for you inside as well, so I'm going to get to that also. But speaking of questions, let me just address it, because I know one of the main questions that I've been hearing is, when are the ordering banks going to open up? I've put my reservation in, I'm ready to go. Well, I've got some great news. The ordering banks are actually going to be opening up in January. I'm so excited I can't even talk straight. In January of 2022, so just around the corner, right? How exciting is that? Now, I want to let you know that the ordering banks are going to be based on reservation. So what that means is that if you were one of the earlier members that put your reservation in and said, hey, I really want to get electrified and get this Lightning in my garage or driveway, well, that just means you can expect to hear from your dealer earlier in the process. If you got in and did your reservation a little earlier, or a little later, well, that just means expect a call still from your dealer, but it is going to be, as I mentioned, in order of reservations received. All right, but great news nonetheless. The ordering banks are going to be opening up January of 2022, so we're just around the corner from that happening, and that actually works out great for what we're going to be discussing today. Now, as you guys already know, the F-Series truck has been the best-selling truck in America for the last 44 years. And with the F-150 Lightning, you can be confident in that this truck has gone through all of the same testing and rigorous, strenuous criteria that all of our gas-powered F-150s have gone through. So what that means is that you're getting a true F-Series vehicle, and you're getting some extra, because there are some features and capabilities that you're going to get with the Lightning that only electric can deliver. All right. Now, I know also, outside of when are the ordering banks opening up, your next big question, I know what it is. You want to know which Lightning is going to fit your lifestyle best. And well, that's what we're here to help you determine. We're going to give you some trim comparisons and breakdowns, so that way you can really narrow down your decision making when it comes to which Lightning is going to suit your lifestyle. So whether you're a fleet owner that's considering and thinking about taking your entire fleet electric, or if you just are a current F-150 owner and you really are thinking about making that transition and that move to full electric, we're going to get into it and break down what options, what features come on what trim level. So that way you know and can confidently go into that ordering bank system and know exactly what you're looking for. All right. Now, as I mentioned, we are live, so I also am going to be answering your questions about just what I mentioned, trim level. If you remember back in October when we talked about productivity, I hope you tuned into that show. I told you guys that we will be going over a model overview. And that's what we're going to be doing in our time today. We're going to be diving in and going into a model overview. So any questions specifically regarding that, they are going to get priority. I'm going to be answering your questions live with the help of my dynamic and awesome chat team. So I encourage you to get those questions in because I'm excited to get them answered, and we're going to answer as many as we can here while we're together. All right, so let's talk about and give you guys the outline of some of the model rundown of what we're going to be discussing. First, we're going to start with the Pro trim level. From there, we're going to transition into XLT. Then we're going to discuss Lariat. And then we're going to wrap it up with the Platinum. All right. Now, as you guys know, we are rounding out our year with live stream, but I also have some exciting news for you guys, right? I'm excited. I want to share you. So first off, I want to thank you guys, right? Because it is through your participation, your views, your questions, you continuing to engage with us that I am happy and thankful to announce that we are going to be continuing our live streams in 2022. So that's really big news. We're really excited for that. And so we want to take this time to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in. A lot of you have tuned in consistently, have asked some great questions, and have really been engaging with us. And it's because of that that we're going to continue this in 2022. All right. So let me give you guys a sneak peek so you can get your calendars ready. And I'm going to tell you what we're going to be going over as we kick off the 2022 model lineup year. So in January, we're going to be talking about productivity. In February, we're going to kick off and talk about charging. And then in March, we're going to talk about technology. So here's the great news. If you've been tuning in, or even if maybe you have missed one of the live streams before in the past, you're going to have an opportunity to revisit some of the topics that we covered in 2021. So I encourage you guys to set your calendar. I'm always going to tell you, go to Discover Your Ford, where you can find other great quick tips, one-on-one videos, walk-arounds, and of course that live stream schedule, so that way you guys can be prepared and ready as we kick off our 2022 year. Again, thank you guys for tuning in, and let's talk a little bit more about what we're going to be discussing today. So as I mentioned, here in the studio, I do have the Platinum Series Lightning with me. Now, if you've been tuning in, you're familiar and know that this is a vehicle that we've had. We also have done the Lariat trim level, so we've kind of mixed it up a little bit. But I'm excited because what we're going to be doing, as you know, this one has all the bells and whistles, right? So this one is going to be fully equipped with all the bells and whistles. So I'm going to be using it to help me demonstrate some of the features that I can while we're here live. But I'm also going to rely on some technology so that I can go over some of the other features on your trim levels. You should know that the F-150 Lightning comes with a lot of standard features, and that's one of the big highlights. As we talked about having a vehicle that's all electric, you're going to get some exclusive things that you're only going to see from electric vehicles. So no matter which trim level you get, I'm going to show you guys a quick 360 video that shows you all of the standard features. In fact, when my team pulls up that graphic that's coming out right now, there you go. Take a look at that. That's just focused on some of the standard features that you're going to get no matter which trim level you go with on the F-150 Lightning. So remember, guys, this is not a stripped down truck. This is going to come with some cutting edge technology. So as I mentioned, we're going to get right into the trim levels. Larry, are you ready? Let's go ahead and make this move. We're going to start, guys, with our Lightning Pro, and I'm going to show you guys that. So come on, and we're going to get started talking about the Pro. Now, as you guys see here, there are some features that are going around on the 360, so I'm going to show you guys some of that, and then we're going to get into it. I've got some new technology I'm excited to share with you guys, but this is a good section for all my note takers out there. All right, look at that. Now, isn't that awesome? So we just took a look at our 360, and now I'm going to spend some time so that way if you guys miss something or have more questions, we're going to go into it a little bit more in depth. So with your Pro trim, it's primarily for our commercial customers, right? And one of the things that you're going to notice in the name Pro, it really speaks to what it's designed for, and that's workability and capability. And so you're going to see that kind of displayed here with some of the durable materials that you're going to see up front. So right up front, when you get started here, you're going to see it has the durable grille. You're also going to notice the bumper right here as well. So that bumper is also good. And then in the interior, that theme is going to carry over, where in the interior, you're going to notice that same level of durable materials. So it's really nice when you get into having the Pro trim level, is because you're only going to get some things that are exclusively for the Pro, and really giving you the opportunity where, as I mentioned, if you're thinking about doing it as a fleet vehicle or work vehicle, it's really going to give you the opportunity to highlight your business and your brand, and have durable materials that basically enable you to take it from the work site or anywhere else and not have to worry. So some things you're also going to notice up front here, you have our black side mirrors. You're going to notice that, as I mentioned, it has the carbon black grille. So that's one thing that's really nice and stands out. You're going to have black vinyl flooring on the inside. So again, speaking to that durability, it makes it really easy to wipe down there on the inside. And it does come standard with our Sync 4 system with the 12-inch touchscreen. So it's really nice. As I mentioned, it's a great opportunity to promote your business and really focus in on using that. But one other thing that is great about it, looking at the all-electric, the F-150 Lightning can definitely provide many benefits for fleet. And one of those is your scheduled maintenance cost. Now, the scheduled maintenance costs for the F-150 Lightning are estimated to be more than 40% less on average than scheduled maintenance costs on a gas-powered F-150. Now, that's based off of 8 years or 100,000 miles, obviously whichever comes first. And so what you see with that is, as I mentioned, look at it, all of this available space that you have here in this area, where now you can brand this, make this really a fleet vehicle. It's a great opportunity for custom graphics and even some things that will really help you stand out. As I mentioned, it also comes with some great standard features that you're going to find. You're going to have the standard range battery as one of the key features and options. I talked about the vinyl seating, the black door handles and tailgate handles, and then also you have the 18-inch aluminum wheels, right? So again, really giving you that capability. Some other cool features that you're going to have standard, it includes the Mega Power frunk, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and then also the 2.4 Pro Power onboard that's available as well. So this is not, like I said, this is not some stripped down truck. It gives you plenty of power with the 2.4 kilowatt Pro Power onboard, and it just allows you to get the job done. So again, this is something that you're really going to enjoy and be able to utilize, like I said, especially when it goes from the work site, the campsite, or anywhere in between. It's a really big benefit. Some other things that you're going to see, as we talked about, you're going to have our trailer sway control. You're going to have 4-wheel anti-lock disc brakes. You're going to have dual electric motors. And then also another big story is your selectable drive modes. Now, the selectable drive modes are great because that will allow you, based on the terrain that you're traveling or the conditions that you meet, it'll allow you to change your drive mode to fit where you're traveling. And especially see you here, it has that tow haul mode. So if you are using it for work and you need to tow or haul anything, it has a drive mode specifically for that. Another big story that you're going to see here in the back, we talked about the 2.4 kilowatt power onboard system. You're also going to have a full-size spare underneath here, so that's really another great feature that you're going to have. Also with that, and having the combination of the Pro Power onboard, you also are going to get a Class 4 hitch. Now, if you've seen that I talked about the trailer sway control, now you have that hitch to go in combination with using that, so that way you no longer have to worry about that sway management. You also are going to have the Ford Copilot 360 2.0. All right, so this is a suite of great driver assist technologies. It's going to include things like Ford Pass Connect with 4G LTE Wi-Fi capability. It's going to allow you to have connected built-in navigation with Power Your Trip, which seamlessly incorporates your charging. And so what's nice about that is if you're out on the work site, you no longer have to worry about finding the nearest charging station for you, because being connected is going to help guide you and lead you to that charging station. You're also, when you talk about getting inside, you're going to have Sync 4, as we mentioned. We talked about that on the inside as well. And so with the Sync 4, as I mentioned earlier, you're going to have that 12-inch landscape display. It's great because it gives you conversational voice recognition and cloud-based connectivity help. It basically ensures that you have access to the latest information, whether you're looking for a charging station along your route or a restaurant nearby. Another big story you have is the onboard scale availability, right? And also you have some available features, as we talked about, like a tailgate step and your tailgate work surface. All right, so I mean, those are just some of the exciting standard and optional features that you're going to have and find. But I know what you're thinking. You want to see more about that right there, right? The Mega Power Front. Now, I mentioned it, and as I told you, I'm going to be using my Platinum to help me. So Larry, let's make that trip. Let's walk them on over to the front so they can see how it really works. All right, guys, so that video there shows you a good idea of how the frunk works, and I want to show you guys some ways that you can access your frunk from outside the vehicle. Now, keep in mind, you can utilize your key fob. You can also open the frunk from inside of the cabin as well, and it's really simple to do. It's 2 presses of a button. From there, once you open that frunk up and you go ahead and get ready for it to go, what you'll find is access underneath. Check this out, guys. How cool is that? All right, so now you have your Mega Power Frunk. Now, one of the things to keep in mind with the Mega Power Frunk is that this is lockable, weatherproof storage. So that's one of the big stories, is that with the frunk, now you have the availability where certain things that maybe you didn't want to keep in the bed of your truck because you were worried about them getting damaged or things happening to them, now you have where you can keep them secure, keep them lockable, and it's weatherproof. You're going to get here 400 liters of storage, which is the equivalent of 14.1 cubic feet of storage, and a 400-pound payload. It's the largest front trunk area of all electric pickups right now. Now, as you guys notice also with the opening is bumper height. That's another big story, because if you tuned in, you remember I had my toolboxes, and I showed you guys how easily you can transition and put those toolboxes into the front area. Well, that's a great feature because it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to go up and over, but you can go directly through. Another thing with it being lockable is, as I mentioned, you can load up things and then keep them safely in place, so you don't have to worry about that. It also gives you the ability where, with the material that's in here, I remember I talked about it being durable material. Well, you can actually hose this down and wash it out. So it is washable. It has a drain plug included as well, so you'll be able to hose it down, wash it out, and drain it. And so that way, if you do put things in there, or just maybe let's say you have a chance where you're at the campsite and you got muddy boots or shoes, you can throw them right in here and then hose them down when you get back home. Now, another good thing that you're going to notice is you can get power out of your frunk. So a couple different ways that you can do that is you have the 2.4 kilowatts of power from the Mega Power Frunk, and that's done through, when you look right here, you guys are going to notice, that's right, Larry, go ahead and get in there good so they can see it. You guys will see that you have 4 120-volt outlets here up front and 2 USB ports, right? Now, that's all included with the standard range battery, which the standard range battery targets an EPA estimated range of 230 miles on a single charge. Now, here's another great thing that I wanted to mention, because we talked about our fleet customers. If you're a fleet customer and you're thinking about adding this to your fleet, but you say, I need a little more range than 230, I've got great news for you. For our fleet customers only, on the Pro Trim level, you actually have the availability where you can opt in to have the extended range battery. So that's a big win, and a big addition for fleet consideration is that you can actually add the extended range battery to make this really part of your fleet and maximize its potential. Now, one of the other things that we talked about now, how you can get power out of your Mega Power Frunk. Well, we make it really easy for you to be able to get power into your frunk as well. And one of the ways that we do that is with our mobile charging, right? So remember, your F-150 Lightning is going to come with a mobile mobile charging power cord, and you can utilize that at home for faster charges. And with the Pro trim level, you can charge from 15 to 100% in approximately 10 hours. Now, that's available, and that's done with the available 80 amp Ford Charge Station Pro. Or if you're looking out and about and you're looking to do public charging, well, then you can charge the F-150 Lightning Pro with the standard range battery, an estimation of 41 miles of range per 10 minutes of charge. And that's with the utilization of a DC fast charging station. So not only can you get power out of your F-150 Lightning really easily, but you can get power into it really easily as well. All right. So Larry, let's take a trip back over to our screen. We're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to move into now our XLT model. So let's take a look at the XLT model. All right, so as you guys look, and you hear that beeping, I'm closing up the front area there. So as you guys take a look at that 360, remember the XLT is going to build on those features that we've seen on the Pro. All right, so you're going to have, of course, some of the standard features, and then you're going to have some additional things that you're going to build upon as you move up in your trim level. All right, so one of the things that you may have noticed right off the bat when you start looking at it here, you are now going to move into, if you remember, we had those black body bumpers. Now you move into body colored bumpers when you get into the XLT. So that's one big add-on that you're going to see and change that you're going to have there. You also are going to add some front parking sensors, which is really nice. And now you're moving to that signature front lighting. So that's, again, another big story when you're talking about what comes with the XLT. Those are some of the highlights. You'll also notice that you actually now have the geometric gray ion satin metallic grille up front. So that's this grille right here. One of the nice things, because there's no engine up front, it allowed us to really add some things with the aerodynamic compatibility with the grille and some of the ways that the front end was designed. So because we got rid of the engine, it allowed us to do different ways of adding air cooling throughout the vehicle. It also gives you, of course, a pretty cool look and some additional styling features. So one of the other things that you'll notice are right up front here is those LED signature lighting. So with the LED and the signature lighting up front, it just makes it really clear that this is an F-150. Now, a lot of the design that you guys are going to notice really comes from your feedback and your input. One of the things that you told us as we were designing the F-150 Lightning is that you wanted it to be a truck. And that's what we've accomplished. As I mentioned, this is all F-150, right? It's all F-Series, but it's also distinctively Lightning. So you're going to have some things like the distinctive lighting that allows everyone else to know coming down the road that this is an F-150, but when you talk about that signature front light, now you've kicked it up to say, wait a minute, that's not just an F-150, that's a Lightning as well. So really cool there. Looks like I've got some questions coming in, so I'm excited for that. So let me go ahead and go answer some questions, and then we'll get back to talking about the XLT. All right, so my first question comes from Jason. Jason, thanks for tuning in. Glad to have you. Excited that you're here with our live stream. Jason's question is this. Jason says, will the Pro model have the fold flat center console? It's a great question, and that is the interior work surface that you're talking about, Jason, and it is not available on the Pro model. So on the Pro, you cannot get the interior work surface, but it is standard on the XLT, Lariat, and Platinum models. So Jason, if that's a feature that you know that you really want, and I'm actually going to show you that a little bit later on, but if that's a feature you want, you're going to have to start at the XLT. All right. Our next question is from Ken. Ken, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your question. Ken's question is, are power folding side mirrors available as standalone options on the XLT? To answer your question, Ken, the power folding mirrors are not available on the XLT trim level. They are standard on the Lariat and above. So again, same thing, Ken, if that's an option that you know you absolutely want, you're going to want to start your ordering at the Lariat trim level. And our last question for the moment, because I know you guys are going to ask more, our last question comes from Corey. Corey, thanks for tuning in. Excited to have you. Is the Lightning Pro getting built in 2022 for retail consumers? Great question. The F-150 Lightning Pro model will be available with the standard range battery for retail customers. So yes, Corey, you can still get the Pro as a retail customer. It just is with the fleet customer, they have the option to go ahead and add the extended range battery. So to answer your question again, Corey, absolutely, it's available to you. You'll have it with the standard range battery option. All right. Thank you guys for your questions. Keep those questions coming in, guys. We're always excited to answer those, and I really want to make sure we get your questions answered. So we left off talking about the LED lighting up front, right? So some other cool features that you're going to have, not only with the LED lighting and giving you those visual cues that this is the F-150, but you're also going to have some other cool things like some under seat storage. You're also going to have the ability to have our secure code keyless entry keypad, which is right here on the side of the door. If you guys remember, I talked about the available tailgate step with the tailgate work surface. So again, another available feature there. And you're also going to have the fixed extended length running boards. And what I mean by extended length is if you've been an F-150 owner, you know that the running boards in the past would stop right at that second passenger door. Well, now they actually extend back and get a little bit closer to the end of the wheel well. So it's really nice. Gives you an opportunity where if you want to step and get some things out of the bed of your truck, well, you have an easier time in doing that. So some other cool things that you will have, in addition to the keyless entry, you're going to have the 360 degree camera, and you also have the ability to have our zone lighting, which is really big. One of the things that you guys will see here as we have it featured is this right here, the 20-inch dark carbonized gray painted aluminum wheels. That's another available option. So if you're talking about some standard things, you guys can see the zone lighting there. If you're talking about some other available features, that's another great one. With the zone lighting, as you guys seen in that video, what the zone lighting allows you to do is really illuminate, whether it be the campsite or the work site. It's going to give you the opportunity to illuminate around the truck. And what's nice about it is you can do that in individual sections, or you can do that all the way around. So it makes it really, really nice there with the enhanced zone lighting. All right, another cool thing that we talked about, and this question came up. So Larry, you know what I've got to do? I've got to show them, right? Because we talked about the interior work surface. So let's go on over and use our platinum, and we're going to show them how that actually looks. So come on over this way, guys. I'm going to show you that work surface. And it looks like I left my front open here. Let me get that closed up as well. So with the work surface, what's really nice about the work surface is that when you come in here, and let's say, and actually before I get to it, I've got a cool video I'm going to show you guys, but I'll show you really quickly. Works really great. You just press this button here, your shifter knob is going to go away, and then once you do that, it comes out really this easy. But I've got a video that actually shows you a little bit better. Guys, can you cue that video up for them? I want to show them some cool things that we did with our interior work surface. So as you can see here, guys, as I just demonstrated, you put your shifter down. From there, you can easily open this up. And once you do that, you can use your work surface to get work done, eat lunch, take notes, view your favorite movie on your tablet, and really just be able to have a comfortable space where you have a flat surface to get the job done. Obviously, when break time's over or it's time to get back to business, you can store your laptop securely. Look at all that space you've got there to store your laptop down in there. That is lockable, by the way, and then when you're ready to get back on the go, you pull your shifter back up and you're ready for your travels. Now, just as I showed you there in the video, it's that simple, guys. Look, I can even show you here. Boom, fold that up, press that button, and now I am ready to hit the road. It's just that easy. Now, one of the other things that you're going to find with your XLT trim level is that it is the first, and this is a big story, so the XLT is the first that allows all customers, so not just for fleet customers, but all customers now with the XLT model, you can get the extended range battery. So that's a great option that's available. So when you get into the XLT, you do have the opportunity to get the extended range battery option. Now the extended range battery is going to be targeting an EPA estimated range of 300 miles on a single charge. That's accomplished with the dual onboard chargers. Now, The dual onboard chargers means that you can charge even faster with your home charging equipment. Now, you can charge with the extended range from 15% to 100% in about 8 hours. And that's done with the Ford Charge Station Pro. So that's right, you can charge it overnight. Now, guys, keep in mind, with the ability of your Ford Pass app and being able to program your charging, you don't necessarily have to let it get all the way down to 15%. You can come home and plug your Lightning in and charge it up, and you can even program your charging times so you can take advantage of off-peak hours with your electric company. But the benefit is, if in the event you let it get down to 15%, well, you can charge it from 15 to 100 in approximately 8 hours. So that's a great feature to have. So that gives you some of the highlights of the XLT. Larry, we're going to head back over because it's time for us to talk about our Lariat. So let's check out our Lariat trim level, guys. All right, so as you can see here from the 360, and as we talked about, the Lariat is actually going to kick off and still continue to build on what we've seen featured in the Pro and the XLT. All right, so just some things to keep in mind. As I talked about, we're going to continue to kind of build our benefit sandwich when it comes to getting into the upper trim levels and what we're going to have as available and standard features. So that's the Lariat. And also one of the big things I want to kick off in talking about the Lariat, just because I know you guys can see it. So some of the highlights that we have up front is now you have the premium geometric gray ion satin metallic grille. So still you get that aerodynamic stylish grille up front. You now are going to have, as you see here, you are going to have body colored folding power side mirrors. So now instead of them being black, now they are going to be body colored and power folding on the side mirror. So that's another big benefit that you're going to have. Also, when you're getting down into it now, you still have that body colored bumper here. So that's another big highlight that you're going to have, which is another great feature. You also have the Sync 4A with the 15.5-inch touchscreen and our leather trim seats. So another big story, you're going to have the Ford Copilot 360 Assist with the 2.0. All right, so let me tell you about some of the highlights that's going to include. That gives you the intelligent adaptive cruise control, evasive steering assist, intersection assist, and connected built-in navigation. So those are just some of the highlights that you have with that Ford Copilot Assist 2.0 features. You also are going to have some other cool things here as well that I wanted to show you guys, such as a heated steering wheel on the inside. So now you have that. You see you have the available twin panel moon roofs. That's another big story. If you're into music, like I'm into music, well then you also here are going to have the Bang & Olufsen sound system. Now when you get into the Lariat, that is going to be with the 8-speaker system with the subwoofer and HD radio. So again, that's another cool thing that you're going to have, and that's going to make it real comfortable to be in that driver's seat, because your driver's seat is going to be a 10-way power driver's seat. It's going to be heated and ventilated, and of course you're also going to have the opportunity to have position memory. So again, but here's the other great thing. Not only do you have all those luxuries with the driver's seat, that's going to carry over to the passenger seat as well. All right, so with your passenger seat, it will be multi-adjustable, heated and ventilated also. On the inside, you're also going to have some ice blue ambient lighting, so you'll have the ability to make your interior of your cab a little bit more fun and functional as well. Some other cool things that you're going to see here in the back, you actually will have a power sliding rear window with the defroster. So now you have that power sliding rear window. You have the ability to defrost it as well. So that's just another great feature and great thing that you're going to have. What also is really nice is that in the back, also when you're taking a look at what you're going to have in the back, we have the available Pro Power onboard system. You have your LED box lighting as well. So again, some other cool things which I'm going to show you guys a little bit. You also have your power up and down tailgate with this is a great thing, guys. This is going to tell you really nice. With the back, if you notice, this is actually going to carry over, and you can see it here, that signature light bar that you have in the front. Well, now with your Lariat trim level, it's going to be the first to carry that over and really give you the opportunity where now you can keep that distinctive styling. All right. Looks like I've got some questions here, guys, so we're going to take a quick pause and answer some of those questions. So let's take a look here. Our first question comes from Christian. Christian, thanks for tuning in. Christian's question is this: will a center console safe be available on the Lightning, and at what trim level? Great question, Christian. So the in-vehicle safe will be available as a dealer-installed option, and that's available on all models. So no matter which model you have, that's available for all models that you have there. Our next question, thanks for that question again, Christian. Our next question comes from Mike, and Mike's question is this: is there any chance to get phone as a key function on the XLT? That's a great question. Phone as a key capability will only be offered on the Lariat and the Platinum. Now, that's as it sits right now, Mike, but remember, I told you guys at the top that a lot of what you've seen comes from customer feedback and your input, and so who knows, I can't speak to future models and what may happen down the road, but right now, phone as a key compatibility is only for the Lariat and the Platinum trim levels. So, Mike, great question. Thanks for asking that question as well. Thank you guys for keeping those questions coming in. Really appreciate it. So let's get back to what we were talking about, which is all of the key features that you're going to have here in the back. Another thing that you guys are going to notice if you're into the stylish wheels, well, we also have your 20-inch dark carbonized gray painted aluminum wheels here. And also, guys, as you've seen, another key feature, you have your intelligent access with the push button to start as well. So again, some other great features that you have here in the back. But we talked about it, and Larry, I've got to show them here. I actually going to show them the power tailgate, right? We talked about it, so let's go take a look at it up close and personal, all right? Follow me this way, guys. All right, guys, so we're back here in the tailgate. Now, there's a ton of great ways that you can access the power tailgate. It really makes your ownership experience fantastic, right? Because it makes it really easy to be able to access your tailgate. You can do it from inside of the cab. You can also, of course, do it from your key fob. You can also utilize the push button that's actually right here. So just with the press of a button, you guys see I did that with just one finger, really easy. And once you do that, you actually access the back of your tailgate. Now, as you can see, this one has the tailgate work surface. So I'm actually going to put my pencil down here for just a moment, which is a great feature. And then you guys can even see here, I can even put my tablet back here in here as well. So if in the event I wanted to watch a cool video and get a tutorial on YouTube or be able to utilize that space, I mean, I normally put like smaller screws and nuts and bolts here. You can use it as a cup holder. But what's also nice is it gives you measurement in either imperial or metric. So it's really great. Another big feature is the tailgate step. So this is really good. And you guys can see a lot of the stuff I'm doing with one finger, right? It's just to kind of demonstrate how easily you can function and use this stuff. So when you pull that, and I recommend always guiding that down, you have your step here. You're going to pull out your assist bar here, and that pulls out. That comes up here. And once you do that, guys, now you have a really easy way that you can access the back of your bed. It's really cool, really awesome there. And what's nice about it is it also makes the step down really easy as well. So makes it a lot easier to get in and out of the bed of your truck. When it's time to fold it down, it's really simple. Press 1, press 2, fold that in, and then put that step back up in there. Really easy. All right, so that works out great. So guys, I want to show you something here. Larry, let's do a little bit of a switch. I want to show you guys some other cool features that you are going to see as you get into the bed of your truck. Now, one of the big stories that we have is, of course, the Pro Power Onboard, right? And this particular truck features the 9.6 kilowatt Pro Power Onboard system. And that's a standard when you're getting into the Lariat. Now, that's great because what you can really do with that is you can do great things. Like you can run a welder, a space heater, and so much more. And really how that's done with the Pro Power onboard system is that you actually have, and you can kind of see it here, you have, as I showed you up front with your front area and those 120 volt outlets, you actually have additional 120 volt outlets here. So you can run things like a hammer drill, even a laser printer, a microwave, a blender, whatever, even a TV. So you can do some tailgating and front gating. I still don't think that sticks, Larry. I keep trying. I promise I'm going to get that to stick. But also, guys, another big story, and I know Larry gave you guys the close-up there, you also have the 240 volt outlet that you have here in the back as well. So I'll show you that also. So here's what that means if you're keeping count, because there's two that I didn't show you. But in total, guys, you are going to have 11 power outlets coming from your F-150 Lightning. That's right, 11. Here's the breakdown. You have 4 up front, so 4 120 volt outlets up front in the front area. You have 2 120 volts that are actually inside the cab. You have 4 here in the back, which I just showed you. And then you have the additional 240 volt outlet here in the bed of your truck as well. So that gives you a count and a total of 11 in total. All right. So how great is that? How awesome is that? Again, Grille giving you some key features that are really awesome there. Larry, I'm going to close up the back of this, and then I'm also going to show them some other cool features. So we're going to make our way towards the front of the Lightning here. All right. So you guys can hear. Let's go ahead and get this tailgate closed up. Perfect. Now, another great thing, as you guys see there, one of the options that you can do on the inside, if you don't want to utilize all the power options, you actually have the availability to set it and do it as a manual tailgate. So one cool feature that I do like and appreciate is that if I don't want to have to worry about the power, you can actually, from your Sync 4 screen, you can actually go ahead and do it as manual. So that's one of the options that you can set in your vehicle settings. So as I talked about the Sync 4 screen, give me just a minute, guys. I'm going to get this powered on because I want you guys to be able to see how this screen really looks and really get a good idea. With the Sync 4 system, here's what I want you guys to think. It takes that personable feeling of your truck and really takes it up one more notch. With the Sync 4 system, the Sync 4A system, what it does, and let me make sure I make that differentiate between the two. Sync 4A, okay? Sync 4A is a more personalized, intuitive system that allows the vehicle to learn some of your frequent habits. So as an example, let's say every day I call home and call my wife at a specific time. What it's going to do, look at that, guys, it even gives us some music there as I kicked on. I have my phone program and synced to the car. So what it's going to do with the Sync 4A system, it's going to learn my habits, even so much so knowing that I like epic music. So it's really nice because what it does, let's say I call my wife at a certain time every day. Well, the benefit of that is just like our smartphones have started to learn some of those habits and make suggestions, your Sync 4A system is going to have the ability to do so as well. Now, I want you guys to see this gorgeous 15.5-inch display screen. So I'm going to go back here and I'm just going to show you guys some of the things that you can have. Larry, go ahead and get in there and show them what that beautiful screen looks like. It's a 15.5-inch portrait touchscreen. It has enhanced voice recognition. It comes standard on the Lariat and the Platinum models, and it also offers impressive features including voice access to your favorite apps, connected navigation, and as I mentioned earlier, the Bang & Olufsen sound system. Now, one of the great things that you're going to have with this is that with the Bang & Olufsen sound system, it's an 8-speaker system. And with the touchscreen, it actually moves really fluid. Now, as you guys seen, I had it on our Apple CarPlay, but if I wanted to go back and go to our standard built-in navigation, I can easily do that as well. It's going to give me certain features like I can pinch to zoom. So that way, if I want to find my location or get more familiar with where I'm going, I can easily do that. I also have the great thing here where I have apps that I can access, and I can even program and save some of my favorite apps along here at the bottom. And so it's just a ton of features that you're going to be able to get familiar with and really enjoy in your ownership experience. Another great thing that I love is that any apps that you have on your phone that are compatible with your Sync 4A system, they actually will automatically populate. And so that's, again, another great feature that really builds into your lifestyle. So, guys, that's just a highlight of what we have on the Lariat. Larry, let's go back to our screen and let's take a look, guys, because we're sitting in it. So I want to show you guys our Platinum trim level. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Platinum. right, guys, we are back. So take a look at that as some of the 360 screens that you see there. Now, I know you guys heard the beeping, and I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna give you the inside scoop, and I'm gonna tell you some fun things, right? So as I talked about, guys, right, we are live. Now, if you were paying attention, and I know some of you were, because I know you caught it. I know how you are, because I would have done the same thing. I said, hey, let me close my front, and it didn't close, right? Well, guess what, guys? That's because this is a pre-production model. Of course, as I told you guys before on our other live streams, we're really getting these vehicles in very early in the build process. And these are not, as I mentioned, these are not production vehicles. They're pre-production. It gives us the opportunity to highlight and show you guys features before anyone else. So I've actually closed the front now. You heard the beeping twice, but it was just because when I closed it the first time, had a little bit of a malfunction, but it's all right. We got it covered. So with that being said, you know it's live. We're here, right? All right, guys. So let's talk about our platinum trim level and have some fun with it. Now, with the platinum, I told you earlier, it has all the bells and whistles, right? So one of the things that you're going to notice, if you notice when I was sitting inside there, it is the premium Nirvana leather trimmed seats. That's a big thing because not only does it give you the style, but it gives you the comfort as well. With the platinum on the inside, with those seats, they also are going to be multi-contour. And what that means for you guys is it has our active motion. And if you're familiar with the active motion, it's great. What it does is it gives you the ability to keep your blood circulating and flowing as you're driving for long distances by adding the addition of massaging seats that you can actually program to set and help you as you navigate. So it's really, really cool because what it does, it helps keep you alert, keeps that blood flowing. That way you're not getting uncomfortable while you're driving for long distances. It also is a 10-way heated and ventilated driver's seat with the memory. And as I mentioned earlier, that carries over also, same way as it did with the Lariat, that carries over to the passenger seat as well. All right. Now, not only do you have those premium seats, but some of the things that you're going to notice here up front is our, of course, the extended range battery comes standard on the platinum trim level. So we'll talk a little bit more about why that's such a big deal. I'm going to tell you that. But here's the other big story. Up front, you have our high gloss Vader black grille. So again, now with the platinum, you're kicking it up, still a very distinctive grille, but now you're going to go into it being high gloss instead of, as you remember in the other trim levels, it did not have the high gloss capability and feature. All right. So again, another highlight when you're talking about the addition of the platinum. Another thing that you'll notice, you do have the 22-inch Bright Machine aluminum wheels. So we've gone up again, gone from 20 up to 22s. You have the twin panel moonroof and the onboard scales. And of course, you also have the Max Trailer Tow Package. Now, the Max Trailer Tow Package is a really big deal because it comes standard, and that's going to give you the upgraded cooling system. It's also going to increase your towing capacity up to 8,400 pounds. Okay, so a really big story there that if you're looking at really getting this to work, because like I said, it's all F series. So if you're really seeing that, hey, I want to put this to work, you're going to be able to do that with that standard Max Trailer Tow Package. Another cool feature that you're going to have, of course, is, and we talked about this in one of our questions, phone as a key. So phone as a key is great because, as I encourage you always, make sure you download your Ford Pass app. It's a free app to download, and with that, you'll be able to utilize certain features as phone as a key. You can program your charging times. You can also do other cool things like locate your charge stations or even set out your trip route. So a lot of great features that you can access there. Now, we talked about sound, right? And we talked about on the Lariat, for all my note takers, it was how many speakers? 8. That's right. Well, guess what, guys? When you get into the platinum, you are going to kick that up, and 8 is going to turn to 18. That's right. You guys, in the inside of this, you are going to have the B&O Unleashed with the 18 speakers and subwoofer, still with the HD radio. So that's another big story for the inside of the vehicle. Another cool thing that you're going to have when we talk about technology is you are going to have the Ford Copilot Active 2.0 features. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about what that includes. That's going to include the Active Park Assist 2.0 and our Ford Blue Cruise. So let's talk about what the Blue Cruise is and how that system works. So the Blue Cruise system is great because it allows the driver to take their hands off the wheel. Now, how that works, guys, it is on designated roads, so it's not on every road that you come, but it's what we call our hands-free blue zones. Right now, that stretches to over 130,000 miles of highway in North America. Now, that's divided highways that have already been populated and input through Ford, and that's 130,000 miles of designated highway that you'll be able to use those blue crew zones. So Larry, let's take a look. I'm going to kind of walk them through and show them kind of how this feature might work in a real world application system. So with the blue crews, guys, to give you an idea, it gives you the ability where, as I mentioned, you can come in, you can take your hands off of the wheel, but what's important about that, and you might not be able to see it there, but I'm going to kind of point it out to you, there's a sensor that is right here next to your steering wheel. What that does is that makes sure that you're alert, and it also makes sure that you are, of course, not only alert with your keeping your eyes forward, but keeping your eyes open as well. And so with the hands-free blue zones, you'll get an indicator that comes up here on your display screen. It'll let you know that you've entered into a hands-free blue zone, and then you can take your hands off of the wheel. And then when you are no longer in that hands-free blue zone, it's going to give you that indicator that you need to go back to normal driving. So that means hands on the wheels, alert, and fully ready to drive on your own. All right, but it's a great feature to have. Again, that's part of that active 2.0, the Ford Copilot active 2.0 features that you're going to have when you get into the Platinum. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Platinum comes with the extended range battery. And I told you that was a big deal, but I wanted to tell you how that's a big deal. We talked about 11 power points around your vehicle. So a ton of ways that you can get power out of your vehicle. But with having the extended range battery standard on the Platinum, what that means for you is that you are also going to get a benefit in the feature. Now, one thing I wanted to point out for my note takers, take this down for if you're taking notes. When you go into the Platinum, if you remember, I told you that your extended range battery is targeting an EPA estimated range of 300 miles for the extended range battery. When you do the extended range battery for the Platinum, that is 280 miles of range. So the reason for that, the Platinum has some additional equipment, and so the range meter for the Platinum is approximately 280 miles on a single charge. All right, so just be aware of that. Now, here's the big story that I told you guys about, and that is our Charge Station Pro. All right, so that's one big thing that you're going to get when you get into the Platinum and when you get the extended range battery. All right, so the Charge Station Pro is good because it is the 80 amp Ford Charge Station Pro, and it's included with your charging equipment on the trim of the Platinum and when you get the extended range battery. Here's what that means. We're the only manufacturer right now that is offering a 80 amp charger as standard equipment. That's huge, right? That is a big deal because now, not only do you worry about, hey, I want to get all this power out of my F-150 Lightning, but I want to easily get power into it, and you're going to be able to do that. All right, so that's a great thing to have, a great feature. Here's what you need to make it work. All right, so I want to go over that with you guys and show you what you need to make it work. It looks like I maybe have some questions, so let me go to our questions, and then I'm going to tell you guys what you need to make it work. All right, so give me a second. Let's get to our questions first, and then we'll come back. So let's pick up where we are here. Our question, all right, this one comes from Christian. Christian's question is the tailgate step only available on the power tailgate? Christian, that's a great question. It tells me you're paying attention. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the question. The tailgate step is actually available on all models, with or without the power tailgate. So that means it's available on the Pro and the XLT as a standalone option, but on the Lariat and the Platinum, it includes the step with the power tailgate. All right? So you can get it across the board as a standalone option, and then as you go into the trim levels, that's when you'll see it become paired with the power tailgate. tailgate. All right, so thank you for that question, Christian. Really appreciate that. John from Pennsylvania. John's question is, do I make house calls? John, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. With the wife and the family, it'll be really hard because where I go, they go. So, I mean, if you're talking about all of us, I can give you, we're pescatarians. We love salmon. We love fish. So you can set up the dinner table. We can talk all things lightning. But no, unfortunately, John, I don't make house calls, but I do make unlimited calls on Discover Your Ford. So that's a great way where you can go in, and if you have questions or want to come back, remember, I'm going to be here with you monthly. So make sure if you have questions, get those in, because we're going to be able to answer those monthly, but you can also go back to Discover Your Ford. You'll still see my face on a couple of those videos where I talk about specifically some of the key features, functions, and some of the things that you may be wondering about when it comes to the Lightning. Thanks for tuning in, John. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your question. He also has another question. His other question is, how much reduction in range is there while towing and say 3,000 pounds? John, that's a great question. Here's what I have for that. There's no real way to answer that question, because even if it's 3,000 pounds, are you going uphill, downhill? How fast are you going? Is that 300 pounds in the front of your vehicle, or is it in the back, right? And obviously you can't do all 3,000 in the front. It'll be 400 in the front and the other mix in the back. My reason I say that way, John, is because with the F-150 Lightning, it gives you something that no gas-powered vehicle is going to give, and that's our intelligent range system. So inside of your vehicle, on your display, as you're towing or hauling, you're going to get a constant meter that lets you know your estimated miles based on all of those conditions that I mentioned, based on your speed, your altitude, the driving terrain, what drive mode you have your F-150 Lightning in, and then if you start towing and hauling frequently, the vehicle will start to learn that behavior. So as an example, right now, John, if you were to tow with a gas-powered vehicle, mostly we would say, oh, I can get from point A to point B and I'll have a quarter of a tank left. Well, that's really not a really approximation of range, right? Or how many miles. It's just what we're comfortable measuring. With your F-150 Lightning, it gives you a more in-depth glance to tell you in real time what your estimated mileage is based on all of the variables that go into towing and hauling. Thanks for that question, John. That was a great question. Really appreciate that, and really appreciate all of you guys tuning in and your questions. So let's get back to talking about the charging and what you need to make your Ford Charge Station Pro really work. All right, so as I mentioned, it's an 80 amp Ford Charge Station Pro. Now that's serious power, and in order for that to work, there's some things that it needs. First, you're going to need a 240 volt 100 amp circuit that delivers 80 amps of power. All right, now that's, like I said, that's serious circuitry. So we fully recommend that you have that professionally installed. I know there's a lot of things that inspire the do-it-yourself in all of us. This is not one of those moments. We actually have some partnerships, and we actually have a few companies, one in particular, which is Sunrun, that we have at Ford as a preferred installer. Now, Sunrun offers installation of the 80 amp Ford Charge Station Pro and the home integration system. Now, the home integration system is great, and that's cool because that allows for the Ford Intelligent Backup Power. And I know you guys are wondering what that is. If you're not familiar, the Ford Intelligent Backup Power, that's the one where you're seeing that if in the event of a power outage, then your F-150 Lightning can actually power your home for up to 3 days, right? And how that works is that when you have the system properly installed, it allows for the system in the truck to actually send the electric charge back to your home, and it automatically kicks in. So it really takes the place of what you would see with a traditional generator. So what's nice is if you use a traditional generator and now you can interchange that with your F-150 Lightning, which means you don't have to worry about going out in the elements and putting gas in it or anything like that, the F-150 Lightning will automatically kick over. But again, guys, that only works with it being properly installed. So with great technology, with great ability, comes great responsibility. So again, like I said, check out Sunrun or just find a licensed professional installer that can make sure to get that system installed for you guys properly. With that being said as well, you also are going to be able to connect the Ford Charge Station Pro. You'll be able to do that through Bluetooth and through Wi-Fi directly through your phone. So you're going to get connected features, as I talked about throughout the show. We talked about being able to charge it remotely as far as setting up a schedule, so that way you can maximize and use it during off-peak hours. You can also set up to do, if you want to charge to a certain percentage, you can do that. So if you say, I'm going to charge to 30% here and then do the rest of my charging at work or at the office, you can easily do that. There's a ton of features that you can access and really utilize with the technology that we have in place. Now, Larry, I know I've talked a ton about this car and this truck, truck, but you know what? I'm going to give you guys a chance because I want you to really see it. So Larry, I'm going to step out. I want you to show them one more view of this beautiful F-150 Lightning. I mean, it's great. I cannot wait for, like I told you guys, ordering banks open up in January, and we've covered a lot of information that's really going to help you in narrowing down your ordering and what's really going to work best for you. Listen, guys, I am excited. As I told you before at the top, we are continuing our live streams in 2022. So even though I don't make house calls, I'm surely going to make it feel like it because I'm going to bring the same level of excitement. You guys have asked some great questions. And one of the things I want to let you know, it's a little secret, so don't tell everybody. Well, you can tell more people. But one of the great things in 2022 for the formatting of our live streams, we're going to continue to build subjects around the questions that you guys ask. And so what we're going to be doing in our live stream episodes is that we're going to be going through and we're going to be talking about specific questions that you've had. For instance, we get a lot of questions about the ProPower onboard system. And so as we build around our live stream content, we're going to be filling and building content based on your questions. So I really am thankful to all you guys that have asked great questions, for everyone tuning in. I want to give a special shout out to a good friend of mine, Sabil, who I know is tuning in. He actually messaged me and said, I'm going to be tuning in tonight and rooting for you. So Sabil, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This is always fun. I want to thank my dynamic chat team. As I told you guys, we're wrapping up our live streams for 2021. We're excited to kick off 2022. I want to thank you to Larry, who always makes me look good, and always, even when I ask him to show you guys crazy stuff, he's always right there getting into it. I want to thank my production team and staff and everyone in the back that makes all of this live stream work and come together. Remember, guys, check out Discover Your Ford. If you have questions, you need more tips, walkthroughs, one-on-one videos, all that fun stuff, and set your calendars because I'm going to be back. Now, this has been fun, but I've got to run. But like I said, guys, don't you worry because I'll be back, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great night. Happy holidays. We'll see you in 2022.